Hello witches and magical folk. Welcome to Starting Out Solitary. I'm Faerie Sarah and I am subbing in for the lovely Rose this week as we talk about, it's a long one, I gotta read it, sorry. Old habits in your practice that have lost their use but you can't release. Okay, old habits in our practice that have lost their use and we can't release them. The beautiful thing for me I've found working solitary is that I answer to no one, and therefore if something ain't working, I don't use it. Hooray! I wouldn't do it to myself. If it's not working, nothing is habitual. I don't feel. It's all energetic. I'm not doing them out of habit. I'm doing these different practices because they're effective in the magic workings that I'm doing, in the rituals that I'm doing, in the ways that I am wielding my craft. So if it ain't working, it's a big waste of my time. So, yeah, that's a nice thing. I guess if you're in a group and and they have their own traditions and practices, it would be harder. There might be things that start to wear out, and you'd have to get group consensus if you were doing group rituals before you shifted things up. So I guess that's nice for solitaries, is that we can get it to work the way we want it to work, while still respecting the tradition that you're working in. But if it isn't working for you, at the end of the day, what is the point? Like, this is your spiritual practice. I think I'm kind of sick of traditions and books and people and other witches and people saying it has to be done this way and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I understand that there is a lot of history and a lot of proof that certain practices and certain methodologies create certain responses or reactions or effects, but my most favoritist thing in my witchcraft is going with the flow. So yeah, it's changeable and mutable, and it really depends on my environment that I'm in, on my emotional state that I'm in, on the magic workings that I'm wanting to do. Maybe I do need to become a little bit more rigid and formal and if it doesn't sing to my heart, why is it going to sing to my magic? Things to ponder. Things to ponder. So that was meant to be my short answer. And then I was speaking to some gorgeous witch friends and asked them the question. And they also said, oh, that's a tricky one, because they would too also just change it up if it's not working. Like, they've got the freedom in their practice as well. And we did start talking about the bad habits that we have of, for example, buying cheap incense and cheap ass candles and using those when we know that they're not good environmentally. They would be so much better if we'd handcrafted them or bought them from someone who's handcrafted them. And I light incense every single morning, and I light a tea light every single morning as part of a aligning practice and an offering practice to spirit. And it would be really friggin' expensive if I had to buy like hand rolled, top quality, perfect incense. So it gets me thinking about, maybe as an alternative, I could use the incense blocks, the charcoal blocks, and make up my own resins and incenses to sprinkle on them. I think the problem with that is that me and charcoal blocks have never really become good friends. It doesn't seem to matter which ones I purchase. I haven't got them to work. Got any suggestions? Things I can find in Australia or get sent over here? Jeez. So maybe my response to you is, if you have bad habits and you can't seem to release them, perhaps the practice of self-reflection is the best thing. And then making yourself actionable by, I don't know, if you have a goal-setting practice that you do, or a reflective something or other that can be done. So you become accountable. So you can set limits for yourself and go, okay, I'm going to now hunt out charcoal discs that actually will work for me, and maybe I need to buy a few different packets and experiment and then make up my own beautiful, magical, intention-filled morning blessing incense. Like, that already feels a magic ton better than the sticks of stuff that you can buy, even though I really love Neg Champa. Someone comment and tell me that that one's a good one. You know, the blue and the white boxed one? I really love that stuff. Just reminds me of my yoga ashrams. Sad face. And tea lights. Like, what do I do about the tea lights? Like, I'm lighting multiple tea lights a day, and I can't afford to have bee-waxed, gorgeous, lovely, you know, like, it really is the cheap ass box of a million tea lights that I'm buying. What do we do? Some solutions would be great. Some alternatives, some better ways to work with candles and incense would be wonderful. I would love those suggestions. Because if I think about it, I'm lighting a tea light in the morning for my daily offering, and then I light one when I do my art witch work. So I'm on the creative altar, a tea light is being lit, and then I have the big pillar candles that I'll work with for seasons and spells and stuff. So they're different. But the tea lights, how do we get past the tea lights? How do we make tea lights affordable but not shit? Okay, so that's my rambly thoughts for the day. I'd love to know your responses to new ideas for me and my witchy friends for incense and candles. That would be fabulous. Specifically tea lights, please. Okay, bye for now, beloveds. Blessed be.